Hey guys, EBPMAN here. Now in today's video, we're taking a look at the GMAX Ultra, which is, I would say, one of the most complete scooters that we've reviewed in a long time. And you may be asking yourself, why does he say the most complete scooter that we've reviewed on the channel? Well, we're going to do a review of all the features. We're going to go on a ride, and I'm going to share with you why I think that this is one of the most complete packages that I've seen in a long time. Let's get right to it. Now the GMAX Ultra is packed with features, and I'm going to give away the very first feature that makes this a complete solution, and that is that it has built-in cable locks. You guys don't know how this is important, especially for me, especially as we ride scooters, Nilda and I together. I carry something so that we can lock it up when we go to the grocery store, if we go ice cream, whatever we're going to do with it. And the fact that this has a cable that's built into the actual steering column is fantastic. So you have a locking system that allows you to lock this down, which makes it, in my opinion, a very complete system. Now, from a power perspective, you're looking at a speed of 20 miles per hour. You're looking at a little bit over 45, maybe 46 miles, depending on your weight. We've been looking at different experiences depending on if Nilda rides it or I do. So clock it around 45. You also have the ability to support 220 pounds, right? So weight shouldn't be a problem. Large LCD display so that you can see everything that's there. And it comes with a very powerful motor. You're talking about 350 watt motor. Now you do have dual brake systems, and then you have 10-inch air-filled tires that are going to give you a great ride. Now the scooter itself, given all the things that it has, is around 46 pounds, a little bit higher than that, maybe 46.3 pounds. But it also has an IPX4 rating, so if you worry about getting wet, you don't have to worry about that. This is going to handle splashes just fine, and even if you go over puddles. Not designed to be submerged. This isn't an underwater scooter, but it will work well if you get caught in the rain. So next, let's take a closer look at the scooter. We'll go on a ride, and we'll see what you think.
Now, the scooter has a nice bed and it's rubberized, so this is going to keep your feet on the bed at all times. Now, one of the things I will highlight is that the bed is a little narrow. So having your feet side by side, if that's something like you do when you're riding, is probably not going to be too advisable. You can get it done, but depends on the size of your feet. So typically you're going to be using this where you have one foot maybe in front, one in the back. Also, you'll notice that the distance between the bed itself is not very long. So it's a shorter bed, which is going to be great if you're going to be commuting with this. You'll notice that at the very back there, you have your connector that is going, when you collapse the scooter, you'll be able to connect it there, which is going to make it really easy to transport. You have your kickstand, and then you have your tires, and everything is tucked in, so you don't see much exposed on the sides, with the exception of the actual brakes themselves. So you see your disc brake system also right there. And one of the cool things about the scooter also is how thoughtful this area here is. So this is typically the area that connects to the back of the scooter when you fold it down and locks it into place, but it serves dual purpose. When we go out grocery shopping, Nilda and I, we basically carry our bags on the handlebar, right? We put one side on one and then one on the other, and that's how we carry it. Well, this area here, in addition to being the hook, to hold the steering column when it's folded, it also has the ability for you to bring your bags here. So this pushes in like this, and then your bags come in here. So you're able to carry a sling, a backpack, or anything else in this area, holding it into place, which is definitely a thumbs up for me. Now, the display itself is very, very legible. And one of the things I wanted to highlight is that it does have a locking system or anti-theft system. So as soon as you turn it on, you're going to see that you have these dashes here. Well, these dashes are literally just waiting for you to input the code to unlock it. By default, it's set to 0. So all you have to do is cycle through it, press the power button, go into 0, press it twice, and now it's unlocked. It's set at level 1, and what you can do is you can put level 2, which is the 2 levels for the speed that you'll get, and you're set to go. Scooter also has a front-facing LED light and a reflector, and this is enough at night to illuminate the area that you're in, as well as let people know you're on the way. So all you have to do is press and hold the plus button here, and then it lights up. And you can see how bright that is. I'll put my finger right here, or my hand. Let me get it closer so you can see how bright it is. It's very bright. Now, a couple other features before we take a look at the additional security that the scooter has. You do have one braking system, right? And then what you do have also is your throttle here. Now, the cool thing about the throttle, and it says it right here, it actually has cruise control. So as you're riding it, if you're holding this in a specific position for a couple seconds, 3 to 10 seconds, it's going to hold that speed, and when you release it, it's going to continue to run. So that's really nice that it has that. Now, one other thing I'll highlight though is you notice how narrow this the steering is. What you'll find is that there's very little space to have like a phone connected. So literally all you have is this space right here, and you see how narrow that is. So you don't have any space here because this is where your bell is. Now the bell itself is loud, so we'll go ahead and ring it. All you do is pull back and then it kind of snaps into place. It's a metal bell, so that's also nice. So it's going to be very durable. But again, you don't really have a lot of space here for any kind of accessories. Your controls are easily accessible here. So you have your, again, this is to increase or decrease. This is plus and minus, and then you have your power right here. Now, one other feature that makes this bike or the scooter really unique is its security system. So it has a combination type security system with a steel cable here that you can actually pull out, right? And this is going to come out. It's kind of in the column, and you can see this thing is pretty long. So you can see how long this is. So, this is going to allow you to tie it around, bike stands. If you have another scooter, and this has worked for us, I'm able to wrap around Nilda's scooter and I actually tie it in as well. So it really depends on how you have things situated. But this is really designed only for one scooter. So it's just something that we had to do in a pinch. But once you've taken it out, you basically push it in right here. It locks into place. There's a little button right here that you can push to, once you push it in, you push this to release it, but you have to have that combination in place. Right now, this is the default combo. Now, once you're done with the security cable, you just push it in just like this, back into place, and it tucks away, and then you just snap it in. Now, folding the scooter in half is pretty simple. All you just push this button up, this moves forward, the column comes down just like this, and then it locks in to that area in the back that we talked about earlier. So we'll go ahead and pan over here so you can see that. So it just connects right there, and then you're set to go, carry, and walk away.
All right, guys, so let's go ahead and talk about our overall riding experience. First of all, let's start with comfort. Now, this does have air-based tires, which inherently, anytime you're going to go with a scooter that has tires that are inflated tires, you're going to have a great ride. And I have to tell you, this has a great ride. Next, let's talk about the actual steering. And it has a really nice, I would say, steering column here. The height of it is really nice for, at least for my height. It rides a little high, I would say. So if you are a little taller, I think that this is going to work for you. I am not the tallest guy in any way, but I can tell that, as I'm holding on to it, my elbows are bent, meaning that it's riding a little bit higher. So if you're a little bit taller, I think this is going to work as well. I've been looking down because I'm just looking to see how the readability is also from the LCD screen. And I have to say that this has a very, very readable LCD screen, even in this daylight. So right now in Chicago, it's a little cloudy, gloomy, hence I've got some more gear on and just all buttoned up because of that. But overall, this is super readable. Now, in addition to having a really nice and readable display, you do have all your controls are very, very easy to handle. Now, one of the things I will mention is as I am riding the scooter, I'll notice that the actual distance between the left handle and the right handle is very narrow, right? So I've ridden other scooters where maybe the bars themselves are a little bit wider. This is one where things are nicely tucked. And that's going to have some pros and cons, right? It all depends on what you like and what you really prefer. What I like about it is that it means it's not going to take a lot of space. So if you are using this as a last mile device, meaning that you're using this on the train, on the bus, as you're going to your office, this is going to be great because of how tucked away it is. But it is, if you notice, I'm closer here on the side. That's just one thing that I've noticed. But at the same time, I do have access really easily to the controls here. I really don't have to stretch my fingers much to be able to get access to anything. Now, you do have a single brake lever here, only one. And from a braking perspective, I'll say that it's responsive, right? It is not going to be the type of braking that as you press it, and I'll try it one more time, I haven't found that it's like stop on a dime type of experience. So let's go ahead and press it again. So you see that, how it took a little bit to slow down. So be mindful of that as you're riding it. And it has a bell. Let's go ahead and get that going. Oh, there you go. So it does have a bell that you can actually press. It's going to notify anybody that if you're coming, they'll see you. just be mindful of the braking distance. Now, I had highlighted that this is one of the most complete scooters that I have reviewed in quite some time. And I refer to it as being complete because it has something that is so necessary, in my opinion, when it comes to scooters. And that is, it comes with a built-in chain lock, or you know, it has a steel cable that's connected to it. That is something that I absolutely love. Now, the cable itself is protected, or you know, the locking system has a combination lock that is really easy for you to set up and unlock. And what I like about it is that it does have enough give where if you are with someone, you can, you know, easily loop it around another scooter. So I've been able to get, because it's riding so low, the cable itself, I've been able to lock Nilda's scooter and my scooter through the wheels as I've been tying things together in using the same lock. So that's you know, nice to know. But it's going to vary based on the locking systems that you have, where you can actually use your cable, right? So, but it's really designed for a single scooter to lock. So I like that. You can lock it underneath your desk if that's something you want to do, because you're going to leave it overnight, you know, tie it to some furniture, or, you know, if you're going to be leaving it outside, you could do that as well. Now, another convenient feature about this scooter is that it has a real nice, I would say, carrying area for bags. So on the steering column itself, it has this little plastic area that it has kind of like a little latch I just pushed right there that allows you to maybe put like a light backpack or groceries, where you can actually store them there and know that they're not going to fall out. Typically what I do is I mount my groceries when I go grocery shopping, but on the handlebars. So I basically put like if you think about your bag, how it has those the two loops, I put one loop on one side of the steering column and one side on the other. In this case, I can put it right on the actual steering column itself and not have to worry about it being in front, or, you know, worry too much about balancing it as I normally do. Now, top speed on this scooter, we're hitting 20, and it does have good lift. I have to say that I'm impressed with the pickup of this scooter. My weight is around, you know, 175, 185, probably 185 on a bad day, 175 on a good day. Let's say more like 185. So what I'll tell you is that it's clocking at 20 on the scooter right now. It does have cruise control, which means that if you do have your finger held on the speed for a specific period of time, it's going to lock in that speed for you. So once you got your speed, the cool thing about that, it's going to hold it. Now, the great thing about that feature is that you basically don't suffer any thumb fatigue because you're not having to hold on to it. So that's also a really, really great feature. So what we're going to do here, we got a straight, we're going to see what this is clocking. So right now, and we'll compare this in a couple minutes, but basically it says that I'm riding at 20 miles per hour. We're going to continue down this street. We do have a speed camera coming up soon. And then once we get to that speed camera, we'll be able to see what the speed camera says as it compares to the clock speed on the actual speedometer of the scooter. And then we also have some other tech that's going to tell us how true it is to speed. All in all, I want to say that it's very well made. I hear nothing. There's no noise. It feels solid. I do like the fact that I am, as you can see, with my feet side by side. If I want to have it forward, I can do the forward thing, as you can see right here. The one thing I will also highlight is that I find that the bed itself is a little short, right? Now, that's a pro and a con, right? Because if you notice, as I'm keeping my foot here, my foot, if I do them forward and back, I don't really have a lot of distance to cover, right? And if it was a little bit longer, the bed was longer, I kind of prefer that. But at the same time, when it comes to portability, if you're going to use this as a last mile device, you don't really want to have to actually deal with any really big long boards. So that's pretty nice. All right, we're going to be turning around in a second because there's a speed camera there that we're going to be able to grab into in a second, so we can see how the 20-mile speed compares to what a speed camera will say. So we'll do a loop right here. Make sure no cars are coming. And then also we're going to be not going against the wind, because boy, has it been windy. All right, so we're going to speed up. So we're right now 14, 15, 17, 18, it says 20. And you saw how fast it was able to catch up to 20. I like I like that speed. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just look at what that speed camera is telling us as we're going through, see what it's clocking us at. And it's clocking us at 1819. Wow, that's pretty good. That's impressive that it's that accurate. So it says that we're, you know, maybe 1 mile off. Well, you know, we'll double check that, but that is nice. So now let's talk about if there's any negatives. What do I feel, you know, there's positives and we've been going over them, but is there anything that would be negative about the scooter? The only thing, and this is going to be super picky, right? So I am super picky. So the only picky thing I'll say about the actual scooter itself that is a negative is how big the logo is. Oh my God, you can see a mile away whose scooter you have for sure. Does it really have to be that big? I don't think it does. So I wish the scooter actually logo was a little bit more discreet. If it was more discreet, that would have been my preference. Anything else? Absolutely not. I actually think this is a solid buy. So if you're considering a scooter, you'd like something that's going to be reliable, this could be the one. And it's also fast. And you know, and again, I go back to the fact that it has that integrated chain. You know, sometimes I have to carry a chain with me depending on where Nilda and I are going. And you know, it's almost like if I was going to battle when I have something wrapped around my waist or around my shoulder. So having something that is integrated is a super duper plus to me.
So guys, that wraps up our review of the GMAX Ultra. See you in the next video.